So, DreamWorks, you've decided to join Disney in the live-action remake trend. Don't get me wrong, I'm very surprised that DreamWorks decided to go this route. It went do a live-action remake of one of the most popular animated franchises from 2010 and decade, How to Train Your Dragon. Good. Good. I mean, this was something like I was not expecting. I really thought it was like too early to do a remake of this, but like, did you see the money that Disney got on some of their remake, eggs like Aladdin, the Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, East and Lilo and Stitch, and they said, you know what? I want a bit of that money too. And first we got the live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. Good. Now at the moment I haven't seen it. It's been out for a couple of days in my country, nearly a week, but I haven't got the chance to see it yet. Yeah, I'm from the reviews I've been seeing. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm glad the film's actually getting pretty positive reviews for a live action remake. But this is definitely not one of those films where I think it's going to be like best of the year. I mean, you don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some of the Disney live action remakes, to an extent, but with the exception of the two Lion King films, none of them are really up there as my favourite movies of all time. So I'm still not really sure about this remake. I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely gonna watch it so I can review it for you. But I don't have the highest expectations. But I did do some preparing by watching the original trilogy. Yeah, I've always liked I know How to Train Your Dragon films, but they're never the films I watch all the time. Yeah, I've always liked the first film, and I think the sequels are amazing. But they're not the type of franchise to watch over and over and over again. Well, now I decided with the remake coming out, now's a good time to watch through the entire trilogy and see how well it holds up. So let's start off with How to Train Your Dragon 2010, the animated one, the good one. Yeah, I'll admit this might be a bit overhyped from DreamWorks, but I think the original film is really good. There are definitely a lot of problems I have with it, though, don't get me wrong, but it is still a pretty good film. First of all the film opens with the most cringiest dialogue ever. But, I mean, in the opening, adds up the battle between the Vikings and the dragons, and we have Hiccup narrating with some of the cringiest dialogue you'd see in a film like this. And I honestly find this hilarious. Don't get me wrong, the dialogue is completely out of place for this film. And doesn't fit with the tone on the rest of the feature. But I don't know, the way it's delivered, that is kind of hilarious. I love the way how Hiccup just this. I've started to saying that when he was a baby, he ripped a dragon's head up, and then it's do I believe it? Yes, I do. I don't know, the way he said it was just so hilarious that I had to laugh. But yeah, when we get into the main story of the film, Hiccup wants to be like all the other Viking kings. That is until he's able to shoot down and a Night Fury that he names Toothless. But when he tries to kill it, he realizes he can't. and which is why he becomes hesitant after his dad finally makes his dream come true of putting him in dragon training. Then, 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 and yeah, and it becomes the typical like reveal storyline. I mean, I don't mind the story if it's done well, and the film does do a good job of it. This is especially the case with the relationship between Hiccup and Stoic. Like, I know many people think the heart of the film is the relationship between Hiccup and Toothless, and don't get me wrong, it is, and we will get to that. But I will. I'll say the two honestly offer some really strong moments. Yeah, they're really distant from each other, but you can tell that Hiccup wants his dad to be proud of him, and still, it just I just wants the best for his son, and I want him to succeed as much as Hiccup himself wants to succeed. I know the bond on between them is really hot. I like how after the truth comes up, and so the song him, as soon as he does that, there's a look on his face, where he kind of regrets it, but he knows he can't go back on it, and has to continue on his mission to the Dragon's Nest. As it's honestly a really good scene, and the way the two reconcile are with Stoic changing his mind on the dragons, and even going to save Toothless from drought. Ning is really well. And man, and Jared Butler's performance as Stoic is fantastic in this film, especially near the end where he's making up with Hiccup. The way he delivers lines like, I'm sorry for everything, or I'm proud to call you my son. I mean, that are lines we hear in many films like this, but I don't know, the way Butler just delivers it, it's really well done and kind of heartwarming. Knowing that Hiccup has succeeded in getting his dad's approval. So yeah, Hiccup and Stoic are great characters, and their bond is fantastic. I also really like Hiccup's bond with the main dragon, Toothless. And yeah, I see why many people love Toothless. He's basically like the dragon version of Stitch, which kind of makes sense since Quincy Sanders was the director of both Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. While not as chaotic as Stitch, it's the way he's written is well done, and I just love the animation on him. I mean, I'll say this now: the animation in this film is fantastic. Yeah, it does look a bit dated after 15 years. But the textures are really well done, and it is an element that gets improved on every film in this franchise. So I can't complain too much of it being looking a little outdated. But yeah, too, the animators had a lot of fun with Toothless from what I could see. They bring this Night Fury to life with not only showing the abilities of what he can do, at least in this one, but also showing the way he acts like an animal. And how the two slowly get to know each other, but it's well done, leading to that iconic scene where Hiccup uses his hand to touch Toothless, and Toothless accepts. I see why this is one of the most iconic scenes in DreamWorks history, and yeah. And from then and on, that bond is absolutely fantastic. As for the young riders, those who Hiccup becomes friends with, is, I don't know. I mean, I like Astrid, but I don't think the relationship between in him and between her and Hiccup was well developed. Look, unlike the relationships with Hiccup and Toothless and Hiccup and Stoic. But the others are meant to be comic reliefs. I'll admit they've never been my favourite characters in the franchise, and they can have some decent moments now and again. But they haven't. But other jokes in this one are hit and miss, to put it nicely. A few more positives I want to say before we move on to the other one. Is that the action scenes and the flight scenes are the highlights of the feature. Starting with the flight scenes, they are absolutely incredible. The scenes where Hiccup is riding Toothless with the test drive scene, that's so good. It also helps that the score is absolutely fantastic. I mean, Test Drive is one of DreamWorks' most iconic musical pieces, and they really show it in this one. And where it basically became the main theme of the franchise. And the action scenes. Now, there aren't as many as there are in the other films, but when they do happen, they easily become the highlights of the feature. That can leave the viewer on the edge of their seat. This is especially the case with the climax against the Red Death. Where it takes advantage of all the dragons and all the training in that our characters have had throughout the entire feature, and leads to an incredible battle. So yeah, while I would hesitate to call all this the best film from DreamWorks, I still think How to Train Your Dragon is a really good film. Yeah, it doesn't have the most original story, and the side characters aren't the best. When the film gets something right, it does a great job of with the main characters of Hiccup, Stoic, Wick, and Toothless. The animation, the action, and the flight scenes. It all leads to a really good film. I think in my original review circle, I gave this an 8 out of 10. And you know what? I'm going to bump it up by half a point to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Maybe a little overrated, but I still really liked it. And I know this is going to be a hot take, but I've always considered the first one to be the weakest of the trilogy. The reason why? Well, the sequels are so damn good. Especially with the next film, How to Train Your Dragon 2. This already took what was great about the first How to Train Your Dragon and elevates it in the best way possible. Well, where do I even begin? First of all, the story got a massive improvement. This is more or an action-packed with its story. Or as Hiccup is struggling with the more dilemma that his dad wants him to be the next chief, but after his retirement, and Hiccup has to deal with that while also wanting to explore new lands and find more dragons with his buddy Toothless. That is until they come across some dragon trappers led by Eric, son of Eric, who tells them that he's working for someone called Drago. Go Bloodfish. Who I'll say now, Drago is a fantastic villain. His design is really well done, and to make him more like an intimidating Viking compared to the rest. And the way he controls an alpha dragon that ends up controlling all the other dragons in the climax is absolutely incredible. And that scream. it might seem a bit over the top, but it helps show Drago as a menacing character. The best way to describe him as Drago is that he's like the Scar King in from Godzilla X Kong on the New Empire. We don't really see the villain until halfway through the film, but when we do, they become the best parts of the feature. Sure. But anyway, continuing on with the story. Ori, the Hiccup and Toothless are found by Hiccup's mother, who everyone thought was dead, and Valka. And I gotta say, Valka is a well-written character, like the anti-stoic in a way. And where she always saw the good in Dragon, and ended up leaving her family to protect the dragons. Which is why she becomes amazed that Hiccups followed after her footsteps, and how she's been able to change everyone on her back's minds about Dragon. And the scene where she and Stoic reunite, we're all expecting Stoic to let her, but Stoic is so island has felt always given the most frantic apology she can, and as soon as she finishes, Stoic replies with the line, "You're as beautiful as the day I lost you." The way Jared Butler delivers that line, oh my god, it is well done and absolutely powerful. So yeah, you think it's gonna be good? It would be all good for Hiccup's family. By the end of the film, Valka would end up joining Hiccup and Stoic and returning back out with their feet and become a happy family. The Drago uses his alpha to hypnotize Toothless, to nearly kill Hiccup, where Stoic makes the sacrifice to save his son and take the fire, which ends up killing him. Yeah! That scene shocked me when I first saw it. But, oh man, it's honestly one of Greenwood's most powerful deaths. Dreamers aren't really known to killing off important characters, but when they do, they make it an important moment. But the way Hiccup is so upset, Ashton feels like he can't even us Toothless straight away, even if after he's temporarily let go from the Alpha's command. Oh, it is intimidating. And the little Viking funeral they have for him is really well done. Anyways, the film and continues on where it leads to the climb. But a Hiccup and the gang have to save the dragon from Drago and his commands. And with the other characters, I will admit, the reason why I haven't talked much about them is because while I do think they're really good, in fact they're an improvement over this and the original, there's not much to talk about with them. I really like them in this, and they can have some entertaining moments, especially of being head over heels with the new male character, Eric. But I also thought Eric had a decent redemption arc, but they just didn't give me much to talk about. But that's not a negative with them. Anyway, I just really like them, but I didn't have enough to talk about with them. Anyway, moving on with the rest of the film. I'll say now that the action has always been in the highlights of this franchise, and man, they up the ante with the action scenes. They make them as intense as possible, especially with the war they show. Oh, and the climax, which is just a success. I think as it is emotional, or how Hiccup is able to help Toothless break free of the Alpha and Drago's command. and how the two who work out together and put their trust in one another of to fight like them. And with Toothless eventually becoming the new alpha for Dragon, it is such a powerful scene. So yeah, it ends with Hiccup becoming chief, the new ruler of Bark, and it's a happy ending. I did not mean to technically go over the main majorities of the plot, or by describing the details. But I thought it was a good way to change it up. But yeah, How to Train Your Dragon 2, it was the first film, but 100 times better. It's got a highly more better story. It features some great and fantastic animation that's definitely shown improvement. But the characters are still great, and I really like them. The action is top notch, and it does have a strong emotional heart. So yeah, if you love the first How to Train Your Dragon, you're gonna love the second. Cause I've always considered this one to be my favourite of the three, and I still stand by that, as I give this one a 10 out of 10. And now we move on to the finale of the trilogy, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. I know I was a bit put off that they didn't decide to call this How to Train Your Dragon 3. But hey, I don't mind. And The Hidden World is a good subtitle for the sequel, because, well, it is about the Hidden World. And I'll say, well, How to Train Your Dragon 2, it was my favourite movie of the trilogy. I think The Hidden World might have my favourite story. As two, if this fun, and another dragon called Light Fury, which is basically like a Night Fury, which is honestly really well done, and a good idea, because as from what's implied from the second, Toothless might be one of the last of its species, so showing that there is like not necessarily a Night Fury, but a Light Fury does make a lot of sense, and a lot of sense, and fits well with the film. And I am curious to see if there are any more theories within the franchise. But yeah, the main villain of this film, is Grimmel the Grizzly. And I will say, nothing was gonna ever beat Drago as the best villain in the franchise, but Grimmel comes really close, mainly because as Hiccup and Grimmel probably have the best hero-villain relationship, if out of all of the DreamWorks films. I've liked relationships with other DreamWorks villains and heroes, but I don't know. The way how Grimmel's like the anti-Hiccup compared to way, and the way he challenges Hiccup's beliefs, it's just so well done to me. On top of having an amazing also, so like Drago, Grimmel is shown to be a great threat. The film has shown that he's a Night Fury killer that's killed most other Night Furies, and Toothless is the next one on his list. Yes, and the way he's able to control his own species of dragons with their own venom, is really messed up. Like, these might be be the most tragic villain henchman from DreamWorks. Because as I'm sure if it wasn't for them being drugged by their own venom, they might have become as good as all the other dragons in the future. So yeah, the film has a great villain. So how about Hiccup and Toothless? I will say Toothless is still a strong character, and I do think the relationship between him and Light Fury is really well done. Making the film a bit more of a romantic comedy, but I didn't mind as much because I really love the relationship between the two of them. And I still really like Hiccup, as he's fully become the new chief of Bug, and has to make the tough decisions for his island. Learn to protect its people and the dragons. Guns. I really like Astrid in this. In fact, I think this is our best role in the trilogy. As she's shown to really be Hiccup's true support. And the speech before the climax where Astrid tells Hiccup that she's the person she is today because of Hiccup. Cup is a strong scene to show how much Astrid has grown from a jealous rival to Hiccup's greatest human ally. As to the other side characters, I will admit the one thing that does stop this from being better than the second is that their comedy isn't the best. I mean, they do have some entertaining jokes. Oh, I especially love it whenever Hiccup makes the decision for the people. After that, is always the first one to reply with, "Oh, I'm with him. Who else?" I don't know. Oh, I just love the way he says, and the way his sister Ruffin often takes over in the climax with passing, "I'm with him. Who else?" Oh, honestly, got me to laugh. In fact, I think Rough Nothing Tough Nut might be my favourite characters out of the side characters, at least in this film. I love how it's shown the Rough Nut is so annoying that it actually makes the villain so annoyed that they have to let her go. Oh, that was so hilarious and so well done. And I don't mind annoying characters as long as they've got a point to the film, and their annoyingness helps with the feature. And they really do a good job showing it with us now, as she constantly annoys Scrimmel. Well, it was well done. But yeah, the rest of the comedy isn't great. They tried to get the other characters to side quests, which I'm all down for, like Stotlager, out trying to impress as Hiccup's mum Valka. Kat I'm constantly being jealous of Erickson and of Eric, but I don't think they had as much to do. And the jokes aren't the best. I also really like Goldboy. He's always been a good character in the trilogy. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't talked about him, because he does offer for some of the more entertaining parts of each film. Maybe the third one didn't offer its best jokes, but he is able to deliver some entertaining lines. But yeah, let's continue with other elements. I mean, the action scenes. So I need to explain how great they are. I mean, you know how fantastic they are. They are really well done. And that's because of the animation. I mean, there are many elements of the animation in this one that I just adore. Mainly with how Barks has expanded from the first two films, and how it shows the hidden world. I mean, in the hidden world, it does look gorgeous when we eventually arrive in there. As Hiccup and Astrid arrive on Stormfly. Yeah. But the action has always been my favourite part of the trilogy, and it really shows in this one. And I really like the opening action scene when you take out most of the humour. And the climax is really well done. And after the climax, we have the emotional ending where Hiccup realises that the best thing for the people and the dragons is for them to split apart. And it becomes really sad as Hiccup knows it's going to be hard to say goodbye to its best friend Toothless, but he knows it's the right thing for him, for Hiccup, and it's the right thing for Toothless and the dragons. The two of them find it hard to say goodbye, but they both know it's what they have to do. Ooh, and yeah, I really like that. Sometimes it can be hard to say goodbye to a good friend, and then the future does show it. Oh, and the scene at the end where the two who eventually reunite, where Hiccup is all grown up and he and Astrid just have a little family. Yeah, that got me emotional seeing them reunite again. So yeah, How to Train Your Dragon in the Hidden World may not be as good as the second, but it is a strong contender in the trilogy, having the trilogy's best story, some great action, strong animation, likable characters, and a great ending. Then, had there not been in for the humour not being the greatest, this could have easily been on par with the second, maybe even better. So, but as is, it's a perfect conclusion to the trilogy, and I'm giving the film a solid 9.5 out of 10. I know my original review back in 2019, my god, it's been that long, I gave the film a 10, but seeing how the comedy dragged it down, I had to drag the score down slightly. I still love the film, I just realised this what I was that it might not be as great as the second. But yeah, so that's the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy G-Dot. For, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to go in with an open mind to the remake. And, I'm hoping it's good. I want it to be good. We all want it to be good. But if not, then I know the type of trilogy I want to go back to if I want to see some good How to Train Your Dragon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.